and emotional presence. When interest isn't there at first, the focus shouldn't be on convincing. It should be on becoming more magnetic, grounded, and genuinely appealing. The right energy, mindset, and approach can shift dynamics naturally without pressure or manipulation. Attraction shifts the moment energy shifts. When attention is constantly given, chased, or offered without balance, value quietly decreases. But when presence feels grounded, purposeful, and self-assured, something changes. Desire often grows in the space where admiration meets mystery. Becoming the prize starts with mindset. Instead of asking, how can attention be earned? Ask, what makes this presence valuable? Value isn't arrogance, it's self-awareness. It's knowing strength, embracing individuality, and moving through life with direction. Purpose is magnetic. When daily life is filled with ambition, hobbies, fitness, friendships, and growth, energy becomes naturally attractive. A full life creates intrigue because it signals independence. Chasing approval subtly communicates scarcity. Scarcity creates pressure. Pressure lowers attraction. When interactions feel relaxed and unforced, curiosity increases. Rather than over-texting, over-explaining, or constantly initiating, allow space. Space gives room for anticipation. Anticipation builds desire. Becoming the prize also means emotional stability. Reactivity weakens presence. Calm responses, even in uncertain moments, demonstrate confidence. When energy remains steady regardless of external validation, it signals strength. Emotional control is deeply attractive because it conveys security. Physical presentation matters too, not perfection, but effort. Grooming, style, posture, and health communicate self-respect. The way someone carries themselves speaks before words are ever exchanged. Slow, relaxed movements, direct but warm eye contact, a natural smile. These details subtly say comfortable, grounded, assured. That quiet certainty stands out. Another powerful shift is selective attention. Attention is valuable currency. When it's given freely to everyone, it loses meaning. But when it's offered intentionally, it feels earned. Engage fully in conversation, then step back into personal priorities. This balance prevents overinvestment and creates intrigue. Social proof also strengthens perceived value. A strong circle of friends, meaningful connections, and an active lifestyle demonstrate that others already appreciate this presence. Humans are wired to notice what others value. When someone sees that life is vibrant and social, it increases perceived desirability. Importantly, becoming the prize does not mean playing games. It means embodying self-respect. It means not abandoning standards for temporary validation. When boundaries are upheld calmly and confidently, attraction often increases. Standards communicate worth without ever needing to say it directly. Silence can be powerful. Not every message requires an instant reply. Not every message requires an instant reply. Not every invitation needs immediate availability. Being busy with meaningful pursuits reinforces independence. Independence fuels intrigue because it suggests choice rather than need. Finally, detachment completes the transformation. Not indifference, but emotional freedom. When happiness is not tied to one person's reaction, energy becomes lighter. That lightness feels attractive. Desire thrives where there is confidence, direction, and self-sufficiency. When the focus shifts from gaining approval to embodying value, dynamics change naturally. Attraction begins to grow not from persuasion, but from presence. Attraction often begins long before physical chemistry fully develops. It starts in the mind. Emotional curiosity is the spark that turns indifference into interest. When interactions feel predictable, flat, or overly available, the emotional system stays neutral. But when conversations stimulate imagination, surprise, and depth, curiosity awakens. And curiosity is the doorway to desire. Emotional curiosity is not about trying too hard or performing. It's about creating experiences that feel different from the ordinary. Most conversations stay on the surface: work, weather, routines, basic facts. While polite, surface talk rarely creates emotional movement. To spark curiosity, shift toward questions and statements that invite reflection. Instead of, how was your day? Try, what was the most interesting part of today? Instead of, what do you do for fun? Try, what makes you lose track of time? These subtle upgrades turn routine dialogue into engaging exchange. Playfulness is another powerful tool. Light teasing, respectful and gentle, creates tension in a positive way. It signals confidence and comfort. The key is balance. Teasing should feel warm, not critical. A playful comment delivered with a smile creates emotional contrast. Contrast stimulates attention. When someone feels slightly challenged in a safe way, the mind becomes alert and engaged. Mystery also plays a significant role. Oversharing too quickly removes the excitement of discovery. When everything is explained immediately, feelings nine tensions, life story, there's no room left for imagination. Emotional curiosity grows when details unfold gradually. Share enough to create connection, but leave room for questions. Allow layers to reveal themselves over time.
And dive free once.
Unpredictability in a healthy way keeps energy dynamic. If every interaction follows the same pattern, attraction can stagnate. Changing the tone from playful to thoughtful, from light-hearted to meaningful, keeps conversations alive. Emotional variety prevents boredom. When interactions carry rhythm and surprise, they become memorable. Storytelling is another subtle method of building curiosity. Facts inform, but stories engage emotion. Sharing moments of growth, lessons learned, or unique experiences allows others to see depth. The goal isn't to impress, it's to create imagery. When someone can visualize experiences, they feel connected to them. That emotional connection strengthens intrigue. Active listening is equally important. Emotional curiosity is not only about being interesting, it's about being interested. When someone feels deeply heard, they feel valued. Reflecting back what's said, noticing small details, and remembering previous conversations build emotional weight. Curiosity must flow both ways. Perhaps most importantly, avoid seeking immediate validation. Curiosity dies when energy feels desperate for approval. Let conversations breathe. Allow silence without rushing to fill it. Calm pauses create subtle tension, and tension often fuels attraction. Emotional curiosity is about stimulating the mind while creating comfort. It's about depth without pressure, playfulness without immaturity, and mystery without manipulation. When the emotional experience feels different, more alive, more engaging, more layered, interest begins to grow naturally. Desire rarely appears from force. It develops when the mind becomes intrigued enough to want more. Attraction is deeply connected to perceived value, and perceived value is shaped by standards. When standards are unclear, inconsistent, or easily compromised, desire weakens. But when standards are visible, steady, and calmly upheld, respect grows, and respect is a powerful foundation for attraction. Elevating personal standards begins internally. It starts with deciding what behavior is acceptable and what is not. This includes communication, time, effort, and emotional treatment. When someone tolerates inconsistency, disrespect, or minimal effort, it silently communicates low self-worth. On the other hand, when expectations are quiet but firm, such as valuing punctuality, honesty, and thoughtful communication, it signals confidence. Standards are not about demanding perfection. They are about self-respect. There is a difference between being high maintainer, NAS, and being high value. High maintenance energy seeks constant reassurance and validation. High value energy remains secure and simply chooses not to engage in situations that feel misaligned. One of the most attractive traits is selectiveness. When attention and time are given too freely, they lose significance. But when they are offered intentionally, they gain weight. Being selective about who gets access to personal time and emotional energy increases perceived worth. It subtly communicates abundance, the understanding that options exist and that presence is a choice, not a need. Boundaries are a key part of elevated standards. Boundaries are not walls, they are filters. They protect emotional space while allowing connection. Calmly expressing discomfort with certain behavior, without anger or drama, demonstrates maturity. For example, instead of reacting emotionally to inconsistency, simply reduce availability. Instead of arguing over respect, quietly withdraw from disrespect. Actions often speak louder than explanations. Another aspect of raising standards is consistency in behavior. Attraction fades when actions contradict words. Showing up reliably, maintaining composure, and aligning promises with follow-through builds credibility. Credibility builds trust. Trust strengthens desire. Physical standards also matter. Maintaining health, grooming, and style reflect self-care. Effort in personal presentation communicates pride. It doesn't require extravagance, just intentionality. When someone takes care of themselves, it suggests they expect quality in other areas of life as well. Elevated standards also mean not competing for attention. Competing lowers value because it implies scarcity. Instead, remain composed and detached from external comparisons. Confidence grows when identity is not dependent on outperforming others. Most importantly, elevated standards require the willingness to walk away, not dramatically, not angrily, but peacefully. When behavior does not align with values, distance becomes the response. This willingness to leave communicates strength. It shows that self-worth is not negotiable. Desire increases when presence feels rare, steady, and self-assured. Elevated standards create that effect. They communicate that connection is earned, not granted automatically. When someone senses that access must be respected and appreciated, attraction often intensifies. In the end, raising standards is not about controlling others. It is about controlling self-respect. And self-respect is one of the most magnetic qualities anyone can possess. Before a single word is spoken, energy is already communicating. Body language often speaks louder than conversation. Attraction is deeply influenced by what is seen and felt, non-verbal. Eboli, presence is not about being loud or dominant. It is about being grounded, calm, and self-assured in a way that feels natural. Posture is the foundation of confident body language. Standing tall, with relaxed shoulders and an open chest signals assurance. Slouching or closing off the body can unintentionally communicate insecurity or discomfort. An upright yet relaxed posture sends a silent message. Comfortable in this space, comfortable in this skin. Eye contact is another powerful tool. Strong but warm eye contact creates connection and intensity. Avoiding eye contact may signal nervousness, while staring too intensely can feel intimidating. The balance lies in holding eye contact long enough to create tension, then breaking it naturally. That brief pause before looking away can subtly build attraction. It shows comfort without neediness. Facial expressions also shape perception. A genuine smile softens presence and creates warmth. A relaxed face communicates emotional stability. Tension in the jaw, forehead, or lips can unconsciously project stress. Calm facial expressions make others feel safe, and safety is often the gateway to deeper desire. Movement plays a significant role as well. Slow, deliberate gestures convey control. Rushed or fidgety movements can signal anxiety. When movements are smooth and intentional, they suggest confidence. Even simple actions, like reaching for a drink or adjusting clothing, should feel unhurried. Slowness communicates certainty. Vocal tone is part of presence too. A steady, calm voice with controlled pacing carries authority and composure. Speaking too quickly can imply nervous energy. Lower, relaxed tones often feel more grounded and magnetic. Pausing occasionally while speaking creates weight behind words. Silence, when used comfortably, can be powerful. Physical space awareness is another key element. Standing too close too soon may feel intrusive. Standing too far away may feel disconnected. Gradually adjusting proximity based on comfort creates subtle tension. Respecting personal space while maintaining engagement shows emotional intelligence. Mirroring is a subtle but effective technique. Naturally matching posture or tone can create unconscious rapport. The key is subtlety. Forced mirroring it feels unnatural. When done organically, it fosters a sense of alignment and connection. Appearance also contributes to presence. Clean grooming, well-fitted clothing, and attention to detail reflects self-respect. The goal is not perfection, but effort. When someone looks put together, it signals pride and intentionality. Most importantly, presence is about emotional control. Calm energy stands out in a world of distraction and noise. When reactions are measured rather than impulsive, it demonstrates strength. Emotional steadiness makes others feel secure. Mastering body language and presence is not about pretending to be someone else. It is about refining self-awareness. When posture, eye contact, tone, and movement align with confidence and calmness, attraction often increases without effort. Words may spark interest, but presence sustains it. Desire rarely grows in environments that feel tense, uncertain, or pressured. While excitement and mystery spark interest, emotional safety is what allows attraction to deepen. When someone feels safe, emotionally understood, respected, and free from judgment, walls lower naturally, and when walls lower, connection becomes possible. Emotional safety begins with listening, not listening to respond, but listening to understand. When someone shares thoughts or experiences, the goal is not to impress or fix, it is to acknowledge. Simple responses like thoughtful, follow up questions or reflecting back what was said communicate attentiveness. Being fully present in conversation makes someone feel seen, and feeling seen creates trust. Where validation is another key component. Validation does not mean agreeing with everything, it means recognizing feelings as real and important. Statements like, that must have been challenging, or that makes sense, show empathy. When emotions are respected instead of dismissed, comfort increases. Comf opens the door to vulnerability. Avoiding pressure is essential. Pressure shuts down desire quickly. If conversations constantly steer toward proving interest, defining labels, or pushing emotional intensity too soon, tension rises. Attraction thrives when it feels voluntary, not demanded. Allow feelings to develop at a natural pace. Patience communicates confidence. Consistency also builds safety. Unpredictable behavior can create excitement, but emotional inconsistency creates anxiety. Showing up when promised, responding thoughtfully, and maintaining steady energy establish reliability. Reliability builds trust. Trust builds emotional openness. Calm reactions are powerful. Overreacting to small misunderstandings or becoming defensive during light disagreements signals instability. Handling conflict with composure demonstrates maturity. When someone sees that differences can be discussed without drama, they feel secure enough to relax. Emotional stability is attractive because it signals strength and control. Respecting boundaries is another pillar of emotional safety. If someone expresses discomfort or hesitates about a topic, gracefully shifting the conversation shows awareness. Ignoring subtle cues damages trust. Awareness of verbal and nonverbal signals reflects emotional intelligence. Confidentiality matters as well, when personal stories or vulnerabilities are shared. Protecting that information builds credibility. Trust grows when it becomes clear that sensitive details will not be used carelessly. Another important aspect is authenticity. Pretending to be flawless creates distance. Sharing small, appropriate vulnerabilities demonstrates humanity. When openness is mutual, connection deepens. However, balance is key. Vulnerability should unfold gradually, not overwhelm. Positive reinforcement also strengthens safety. Acknowledging strengths, appreciating effort, and expressing gratitude create warmth. Encouragement makes someone feel valued rather than evaluated. Ultimately, emotional safety reduces fear. Fear blocks desire. When someone feels emotionally secure, curiosity can evolve into attraction without resistance. Safety allows excitement to exist without anxiety. Building emotional safety is not about being overly soft or passive. It is about being grounded and attentive. When presence feels steady, respectful, and genuinely caring, barriers lower naturally. Desire grows most powerfully where trust and comfort exist together. One of the most powerful shifts in attraction happens when attachment is replaced with emotional freedom. Desire cannot grow in an atmosphere of desperation. When energy feels dependent, clingy, or afraid to lose, it creates pressure. Pressure suffocates attraction, but when presence feels optional, closed rather than needed, it becomes magnetic. It being willing to walk away is not about arrogance or playing games. It is about self-respect. It is the understanding that connection should feel mutual, not forced. When effort flows in only one direction, imbalance develops, and imbalance weakens desire. The willingness to step back restores balance. Detachment begins internally. It starts with accepting that not every connection is meant to develop. When self-worth is not tied to one outcome, energy becomes lighter. Light energy feels confident. Confidence attracts. Scarcity mindset says, this is the only chance. Abundance mindset says, the right connection will align naturally. Abundance does not mean endless options. It means inner security. That security changes posture, tone, and decision making. It reduces over-texting, over-explaining, and over-pursuing. Silence can be a strong signal. When interest is not reciprocated, instead of trying harder, reduce effort. Pulling back slightly allows space. Space creates clarity. If curiosity exists, it will surface. If it does not, that information is valuable. Either way, dignity remains intact. Walking away also protects emotional energy. Continuing to invest where enthusiasm is absent leads to frustration. Protecting time and attention demonstrates standards. Standards communicate value without confrontation. A powerful element is unpredictability through independence. When life remains full, goals, friendships, fitness, growth, absence does not feel empty. It feels natural. If availability disappears briefly because of meaningful priorities, attraction may increase simply because presence is not constant. Calm withdrawal is far more effective than emotional reaction. There is no need for dramatic exits or final speeches. A simple shift in attention is enough. Emotional control during disengagement shows maturity. Maturity commands respect. Ironically, when walking away becomes a genuine option, interactions improve, energy becomes relaxed, conversations feel less pressured, humor returns. Because there is no fear of loss controlling behavior, authenticity rises. And sometimes walking away truly means leaving. Not every situation will transform. When effort remains one-sided despite patience and growth, the strongest move is choosing peace. That decision reinforces identity and self-worth. Desire thrives when it feels earned, not chased. When someone senses that access is a privilege, not a guarantee, attraction can intensify. But even if it does not, self-respect remains untouched. The ultimate power lies in knowing that happiness does not depend on one person's response. When fulfillment comes from within, connection becomes a bonus rather than a necessity. That energy, calm, independent, secure, is deeply magnetic. Being willing to walk away is not about losing. It is about choosing value over validation, and that choice often changes everything.